What's going on, everybody? I'm Jake Adkins. Thanks for watching another episode of Feast and Fight. Today, I'm super excited to have on my guest. He's a first baseman for the Milwaukee Brewers, starting first baseman. Absolutely killed it in playoffs this year. Local guy, Elk Grove High School, and an old friend of mine, Rowdy Tellez. Thanks for coming on the show.
Jake, thanks for having me here.
Of course, man. It's been far too long, but congrats on all your success, and it's been fun watching you. You've given me a reason to actually watch baseball. You, Derek Hill, all the other local guys. So it's been fun to see.
Yeah, it's been good. I got fortunate to play with a lot of guys at Elk Grove High School. The 6 of us in the big leagues, and then I don't think any of them match to your ability at Azusa Pacific.
Thank you.
Just a great teammate all the way around.
Yep. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I was actually going to ask you who was your favorite teammate growing up, but clearly it was me. So thank you for that. I'll give you your $20 later for saying that. So the transition, I mean, obviously you've been preparing for this moment your entire life. I mean, making it to the big leagues, that was obviously the goal, and it's, nobody thought you can do it. I mean, you can't hit, can't throw, can't field, but you can run like the wind.
That was the scouting report.
Runner goes. That is not something you see every day.
Plus runner, very, very athletic runner. No power, terrible defense. But I could run. I could pitch too.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
When you transition into pro ball, usually flip flops. It's kind of like
it's weird how that happens.
Hit that age and it turns. But man, it was fun growing up here. Fun being around everybody. That's one thing that we were brought up at. Playing for D was kind of a family. We all had fun. We all had a great time. Put us in some situations that some of us kids in Elk Grove weren't used to.
Right.
Playing in Oakland, playing in these places, but it was great. It was great growing up here and great being a part of the baseball community that we had. And obviously everybody stays in touch that we grew up with, playing or not. Everybody went on their separate endeavors, but everybody stayed close.
Yeah, hey, that's one of the great things about our area is you root for each other. It's not nobody's jealous of like, oh, well, I should. I mean, I'm sure there's a few people that are like, oh, well, it should have been me. It's, well, you can't hit, you can't do anything. So why would it be you? But I mean, with Elk Grove and Sacramento, but specifically Elk Grove, growing up here and having so many professional. Let's stop that. I don't know who's pounding on the door right now.
Is it Chris Bannister?
No. Thank you for bringing the food up.
You're welcome. Here you go.
You guys are recording?
Shit, you're just sitting here.
I know.
You take the elevator?
Okay.
That just makes it better. It just shows you like we're still nobodies.
Right.
It still doesn't matter what we do. We're just still like, hey boss man, I gotta come in here and open this door.
Gotta deliver this food.
Yeah. I don't care what you're doing, dude, but my shit's more important.
Right. Oh man. All right. So you like red wine? What's your favorite kind of red?
So I'd say I'm still new into wine. Okay. So I've just kind of been experimenting, but like Cab, I think has been like so far my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't like white wine because I don't like anything sweet. So I've never been like a sweet drinker.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Pretty soft when it comes to alcohol. Can't really handle much, but I think wine's just easier to drink. You can pair it with different things, and as you get older, it's definitely something you should acquire. Just business reasons.
Yeah.
And you go to nice places, they tend to have good wine, so
For sure.
it's nice to be able to handle at least a glass
Right.
or something where you're not sitting there drinking wine and you're like, oh, don't know what this is.
Right. Are people usually surprised that I'm a lightweight also, and my wife can drink till there's no more alcohol left and be totally fine. And so she makes fun of me for being a lightweight. Are people surprised you being such a big guy that alcohol affects you so much?
I wouldn't say surprised because I'm not super comfortable drinking outside of like my teammates.
Yeah.
or family or like the close friends that I grew up with and things like that. So like I think more so they're just kind of used to it now. But if I do go to an event and people are like, you know, just keep nursing that drink, I'm like, yeah, man, like I can barely walk right now.
That's the most annoying thing.
I
Just
tell
let
them,
me
like,
have
dude,
my drink.
It's cheaper my way.
Yeah.
Like, it's way cheaper. I'm
I'm
spending
using that.
$100.
That was such a good line. I'm like, that's such a good point.
I was like, it's not $100 for me to go about getting a drink or getting drunk. Like $9 and I'm good, man.
Right.
2 drinks and we're good to go.
Nice. Well, what do you think of this? This is our.
That's good.
We have not released this yet, so we'll release this in the next couple months. This is our 2018 Cab Reserve, and we have a 2018 Cab that we bottled probably close to 2 years ago now. Or actually, that's not right. Maybe about a year and a half ago. But this one's been aging for over 3
To be
years.
honest, I didn't even look at the bottle and I just said Cap. Like I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
That wasn't on me, but
Well,
that is really good.
I took a good guess.
Yeah, it's probably my haircut.
What's that?
It's probably the haircut that gave it away that I like Cab.
Probably.
Yeah, it's coming in thick right now. Looks good.
So, how has the transition been from having hair to not having hair?
You know what? I'll be honest. Like, I know that was a good question, but so we made a bet. I made a bet with my teammates in spring training of 2020. Hey, if we win the first game of the year, I will shave my head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was going bad. COVID hits. We don't have a season for 3.5 months,
Right.
whatever it was. And I show up, and the first day everybody's like, "Hey, the bet's still on." And I'm like, "Yeah, I forgot about it, but yeah."
Yeah.
We go out there. Fast forward, first game of the season, we're facing the Rays, we're facing Charlie Morton. We put up 4 or 5 runs on the first 2 innings, and I'm like, oh, it's nice knowing you, buddy. Game ends, we win. Go in there and shave my head. A bunch of guys that I came up with through the whole minor league process. And everybody, they gave me the whole tutorial how to shave my head with a razor, like how to do it. And everybody hyped me up. They were like, dude, it looks way better. Like there was not many ball jokes like until probably 2 months in. Then it was everybody was like really razzing on me about not having hair, being 25 and not having hair. But everybody hyped me up, and I was like, dude, this is great. Like the only thing I had to struggle with is the first couple weeks you shave it, like it looks like a cue ball. Like it's like white. Like your head is white. So of course, next game we shave it. I get on base, end the inning or whatever it was, and I had to take my helmet off on the field, and I got more text than any time in my career about, hits, whatever it was, more text when that helmet came off. And everybody's like, OMG, WTF. And I'm like, yeah, man, life choices comes at you fast. Look at my dad.
Yeah. So you sticking with bald, or do you have a choice?
I was looking into it, but then it kind of got expensive, and I was like, you know what? I wear a hat majority of the time anyway.
Right.
So I said, for me, it's fine. And people say like having a good beard will help you out. Now, if I play for the Yankees, we might have to get a little Restore 54 or something in there that I'm gonna have to change it up. But
do the Carlos Boozer and just kind of paint it.
Yeah,
on.
I'll paint it all on.
Do that.
I'll take the eye black and just nice, hard, good fade.
Yeah. Do this, get some cornrows.
Something, just anything I can do. But no, actually, I like it.
That's
it's not
nice.
bad.
Yeah.
It saves a lot of money.
A lot of money and probably a lot of time too.
Think about it. You get like $35, $40 a haircut every 2 weeks. We'll call it $100 a month.
Nowadays, that's a cheap haircut.
Yeah.
So you're saving some money. I paid. I got my haircut yesterday. Well, they did the beard too. They did a straight razor shave, so that had some cost. But plus tip was $70.
Yeah.
And I try not to get my haircut done too often, but my hair grows.
Yeah. Mine doesn't, so we're good.
Well, I'm jealous that you can save some money.
Yeah. I'm jealous of your hair, so don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
Everything's good, man. I'm just happy to be home. It's nice to come back home.
Yeah.
You sent me that text. I was super pumped. I was like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome. It sounds like it got you a good time. You came in that day, right?
Yeah, it's the only time I'm coming home this year.
Oh, wow.
I didn't come home for Thanksgiving. I moved to Texas, moved to Dallas recently. And, it's just kind of like, I really wanted to settle in because I bought that house in July.
Okay.
When I'm playing, I saw it over the All-Star break, playing, and then there you go. Like, it's not lived in, and then October hits, go to the playoffs. Unfortunately, we lose in the playoffs, and I go home, starting to get furniture, starting to move in. Next thing you know, it's like November 10th, and I'm like, right, I've been in my house for like 2 weeks. Let's have Thanksgiving here. Yeah. Dad drove from California, actually drove my dog from California.
Wow.
With my agent to Texas. My sister drove from Chicago down, and then We all had like some family friends over. Dee and Lisa came.
Nice.
Had family friends over and just had a great time. And it was good to like kind of like break in the house a little bit.
Yeah.
And then still with everything that's going on with COVID and stuff, furniture's still taking forever to get to the house. So, but you know, that was it. And then this time I came out here and kind of a short one, a week-long trip. And usually I come out for longer, but it's just nice to be home. Nice to see everybody, see all the faces that you see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's obviously great to see you. Like I said, I think the last time we saw you was in Dunedin when we went to dinner after the game. Was that the last time?
That might have been. I know we've talked, texted back and forth, but that might have been, what, 4 years ago?
Might have been longer than that.
5?
Time's passing by, man.
I think I saw your dad at a frame store in Elk Grove.
Yeah,
yeah. I saw your dad.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I don't think we had seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
Which I was perfectly okay with.
Oh, okay.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, it was cool with me too.
Usually pretty normal.
Well, so it's the off season. There's a lockout going on right now. What's up with that?
You know, a lot of us are still kind of in the dark on that. You know, we have our player rep that goes back and forth, but it's just a lot going on both ends of like, we want what we want. They were going to just say no regardless, and we knew this one was kind of coming, but you know, it's kind of the name of the game. It's a lot like you're not treating your employees right, and they don't want to play, and if the bosses think that they're treating you too good and they're trying to tone back or stuff like that, you don't want to play. You know, it's just so much tension. You know, it's your headbutting. You know, you're not seen in the middle and you're headbutting. Now it's like, all right, let's see who blinks first.
Right.
You know, so it's just part of the game. It's all part of work, business. You know, baseball's a business.
Yeah.
You know, people don't look at that. They see us on TV and we play, but you know, just like a movie, it's behind the scenes. Everything that makes the world go around in our sport is behind the scenes, and if you can't really see eye to eye, then there's going to be issues. But you know, hopefully we get something done for spring training. We can start on time. I know everybody wants to be at spring training. I'm excited to be in Arizona for spring training finally. Granted, we're in not in Scottsdale, so that kind of stinks. But you know,
are you guys in Peoria or where are you guys?
I think
at?
we're in Maryville. Don't ask where that is.
I won't. Sounds like it's not anywhere.
No, but you know, it's just nice to be in Arizona. Spring training's gonna be way easier. You know, in Florida, your spring training drives are like 45 minutes to 3 hours, and then in Arizona, like your longest trip is 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's super nice to be a part of that, where you just don't have to wake up at 7 o'clock for a 12 o'clock game and drive straight there and all that. But you know, it's just, I'm excited to be with the Brewers and being, especially in Arizona. It's just, I'm really happy for it.
For sure. Playing through the minor leagues and everything with the Blue Jays and then getting traded to Milwaukee, what has that transition been like for you?
I think the Blue Jays gave me the opportunity to live my dream. Obviously, I made my major league debut with them. You know, I have nothing but good things to say about them with being treated right, especially with everything I went through in 2018 and just that whole process. And they did nothing but to make sure I was okay. And, you know, I think coming through the minors, you make these lifelong friends. You know, like I said, I live in Dallas now, and I see a guy, Matt Dean, that I played with from day one. I see a guy that I have a bunch of land with, John Stilson, that we see each other twice a month when we go hunting. Like, you know, I still make these lifelong relationships. Brady, but Brady was here way before that. Yeah. But I still have these lifelong relationships. A bunch of these weddings I've gone to this offseason and will be going to are all guys in the Blues. But I got traded over, and it was like a blessing. Like, it was just one of those things where my time had not come to an end, but you could see the writing on the wall. It wasn't going to be much longer, and I got traded, and Brewers needed a first baseman. Blue Jays needed a couple arms, and the trade went through, and I was super happy. You know, I was traded, went immediately to New York. They told me I was going to play game one of the doubleheader. That was Jacob deGrom, and they were like, actually, you showed up your flight was at 5:45 in the morning. You can take the first one. I played the second one of the doubleheader, and I was like, oh, man. Yeah. I didn't want to face deGrom, man.
Right.
So I was happy about that. And then just the communication of everything, the whole process of being traded and stuff, you know, because I got traded and I was there the next day.
Yeah.
Like, didn't have time to pack up my apartment, get a car, like nothing. Like, you just grab your clothes and go. So then you go, the clubbies, like the clubhouse attendants would sit there and pack your apartment up. You pack all your clothes, pack all your extra baseball stuff. And they're just like, hey, what address you want to send it to? Let's send it to Milwaukee Stadium. So I showed up to Milwaukee, and I literally had Blue Jays bags and like suitcases, and like my truck was there, like everything was there. And you're like, okay, now I got to find an apartment here. You know, and I was like, all right, went through it. And luckily in Milwaukee, it was super easy because we had a couple guys get traded, a couple guys get designated for assignments. So I just took over a lease and I was able to move in. But,
Oh, nice.
you know, I've heard some horror stories being traded, like, and it just nothing goes to plan.
Yeah.
So it was great. No, I was really happy in Milwaukee. Treated really well. Great fan base.
Seems like a better situation for you too.
I get
you
to play.
just-
Yeah, I get to play more often. I love playing defense, so for me that was fun to be over in the National League and get to play defense.
Yeah.
But some people say I stink at it.
Well, I
think so?
certainly didn't.
Yeah, all right.
I'm
It's
just
the
kidding.
first year I haven't stolen a base. So it was my lack
Do you-
of speed's going down. I was averaging one a year, and then just it went downhill.
It can go lower. It can
Then
go
what?
down. Your speed.
Yeah. Usually most people say it's only up from here, but speed, like, there's like 0, and then there's like the snail, and then there's like a little picture and on for dear life back there. But I wasn't even the slowest person on my team, so that made me feel good.
Yeah. Well, that's why you like hitting home runs, right? You hit the
Yeah.
home runs, then you can go whatever speed you want.
Or like those balls, you know, they're just going to be a hit, so you just kind of can jog to first.
Yeah.
But there's been times I've hit balls off the wall and we're thrown out of second base by 20 feet. So
Yeah, that's pretty.
yeah, speed's not a big thing. It's not part of my repertoire.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Those days are over.
You're good. You're good at.
Other things.
You're good at other things that make up for it, so that's fine. That's what they have other people that specialize in that.
They
those
do.
are the
It's-
people that steal the
it's
bases.
not number 11.
Yeah. Let's try these things here.
Whoever made this is phenomenal, because that's what I'm getting tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely getting that tonight.
Oh, that puff pastry is really, really good.
You can
That's like a
You
dessert.
can say it now, huh?
I can. Once I tasted it, now I can pronunciate it. Pronunciate it? That's not a word. This wine's good.
That's it? Yeah, that's what.
I'm just enjoying the wine.
Didn't you go to college?
See, I told
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I didn't go to class. I walked by the classes to the cafeteria.
Stared at the windows.
Yeah.
Not gonna make
Ah,
that.
I should.
That one
I
starts
think
in
I was
10
supposed to be there.
Starts in 10 minutes. Not gonna make that one.
Yeah. I went to a couple classes
Every now and then.
out of the 2 years.
I
that
honestly don't think I would have survived college.
No.
I really don't. Like, even in high school, and we all know Elk Grove High School is not the hardest place in the world. I just don't think college would have been for me.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's the big question. Feel like, do you miss or regret anything of not going to college? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Not one bit. USC would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a great time. But going to school, just, it didn't appeal to me. Like, I always, even at Elk Grove, like junior, senior year, it was not good.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm not smart. It was just, I had such a vision, like such an idea that I was like, I know I'm not going to school. Like, I know this isn't going to be in my future. I'm going to just do my thing. Like, I'm going to enjoy my own life and have some fun in high school. And it wasn't like go out to parties or nothing. Like, I would have been, I would have been caught dead if that was what would have happened. But it was just, not going to go to class today.
Right.
Like, if I can pass with a C, I'm good.
Yeah. They don't put your grades on your diploma.
Yeah, no. But that was the thing, and it was like, everybody kind of knew that, so I'd show up to class, and if I show up to class, teachers would be like, Mr. Tellez, just sit in the back. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm good for it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Excuse me.
the landscape of schools changed. Or I shouldn't say the landscape, but the importance, I should say. I mean, if you're being an engineer or a lawyer or doctor or something, then yeah, you need that. But if you're going there for really anything else, there's not a whole lot of reason to go, because the information age that we're in, where you have the internet in your pocket, and any question, you can you basically know everything by having that
Yeah,
device.
you should, hey Google, hey Siri,
Right.
whatever you need. It was funny actually. On Christmas this year, my cousin came over, and I was like, "Hey, I'll give you $1,000," and he's 7 years old, and he kept going, I know. Every time you say something new, I know this, I know that, and I was like, "I'll give you $1,000 if you can tell me what 12 times 12 is." And he's 7 years old, and obviously that's hard.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I already know. Why do I need to tell you?" And I was like, "Because you don't know."
You need to prove
I was
it.
like, "Dude, if you can tell me what 37 plus 52 is, like, I'll give you $100. And he goes, "That's easy." Pulled out his phone. I was like,
Oh.
his sister pulled out her phone. I was like, "Y'all don't have a calculator in the desk?" Like, that's where we used to go.
Right.
And I'm not old. Like, iPhone came out when we were in high school.
Right.
And I was like, kids, man, or you see it in restaurants. Baby starts crying, here comes an iPad.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Now that's where it becomes kind of an issue, I think. I understand giving it to the kid, but a lot of parents rely on that rather than like figuring
That's
out
what I'm
what's
saying,
wrong.
like,
Not
school,
necessarily
like,
with the kids, but like
School's
as they
like
get
the
older.
same way. Like, I went back to Elk Grove and people are just watching like tutorials. Like, the teacher will just pull it up on the TV and put it on the screen, and they're like watching. I was like, nobody's getting yelled at in here?
Right.
I'm like, oh, Rowdy must be out of school now.
Wait,
So
I
that's
was
not
the only one
normal?
getting yelled at?
No, that's not normal. All right. But it's just different than like the COVID stuff. My sister graduated University of Nevada, Reno, UNR, on a computer. They graduated and was into grad school and was doing it on a computer.
Jeez.
She graduated. She had a little diploma and her jacket on and like a shirt and then leggings because the shirt looked nice and leggings 'cause you can't see anything because you're sitting in the screen.
And it's on a Zoom
And
call,
me and
right?
my dad are sitting there and she goes, "Ooh," throws her diploma and we're in the background going, "Yay!"
Yeah.
She's like, "That was stupid."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, we paid all this money for you to graduate on a
Laptop.
12-inch screen. Sweet, great.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
poor."
COVID has really changed the landscape of that. My wife's younger siblings, they're still in high school, and I mean, when COVID started, they were sophomores, or one of them was a sophomore. Now he's a senior, and he's basically going all through high school. I mean, they let him go to class now, but the bulk of high school was on a screen at home, and
That's crazy.
you lose out on so much, and it's like, to us, it doesn't seem like it's been a long time with COVID, but when you think of the aspect of like high school's only 4 years, and then these kids are going through that
2020, 2021.
in this span, yeah, it's just crazy.
I mean, my buddy were actually talking about this the other day, was like how much fun we had senior year of high school. Granted, we were at Elk Grove and there was a lot of us that were good and we played well. But like for some people, it was just, this is the last year of high school sport. This is the last year of sports for me. Like, I'm not going to college or play or like things like that. And we had the best time just all through. Like every year, there was majority of the seniors were like, "I'm done. Like, this is it. I'm not going to play a sport again, except for fun."
Yeah.
And then 2020 rolls around, and those seniors probably feeling the same way seniors in college. There's just high school, everything, every sport. There's like no sports. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Now you just lost out on probably some of the most fun. I don't know about Bradshaw, but Elk Grove, we'd go down to San Diego. We'd play the spring break tournament down there. We'd travel pretty well, and for the school just like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna do that. You're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Now you're sitting at home with your parents and your siblings and your dog, and you're just like, all right.
Can't go anywhere, can't do anything.
Yeah.
And
No fun at all. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I broke the rules quite often with COVID. Like, I left when I wanted.
Yeah.
Mainly because my dad just annoyed me. Told me my room was a mess. I'm like, dude, I'm just a dirty, organized person.
Right.
Like, I
You know where everything
I know
is.
the shirt I'm gonna wear in 3 days is under all those clothes under the bed. Like, I know that. I know where it's at.
Yeah. And I know it's clean enough
Yeah.
to wear.
Just look at it and just dump it in some water, throw it in the dryer, and you move on.
Right.
But that was tough. Even as like an athlete, in my sense of playing, you don't understand like how tough it was to play. And I say this and it sounds terrible because people are like, dude, I'd do anything to be a pro athlete.
Yeah.
How hard it was and how bad it was to play in front of nobody. Fake crowd noise, staring at billboards. Right. You know, you start looking at billboards, you're like, that was the worst picture like anybody took. Like,
That's
that was
the
your
picture you sent
picture you
in?
chose, and you're like baseballs and you're trying to throw it at it. And you're like, just want it off the screen. Like, I don't want to look at that when I look
Yeah.
over there. And just, it was tough. And, you know, for a lot of guys, they sat there and they're like, dude, baseball, that's, and, you know, again, this sounds bad. Like, baseball's not the whole world to us.
Right.
Like, that was tough. And then the fans, when it came back in the playoffs a little bit in 2020, you know, like, that was whatever, still wasn't good. But 2021 rolled around, spring training, you had people in there. I couldn't tell you how good it felt to be called fat. Like, I loved it. I was like, hey, you know, hey, fat ass, you have another donut? I'm like, yes.
I missed you.
Give me that donut then. Hand it over. But, you know, COVID has just turned a lot of things around, you know, even in the clubhouses, even in how we go about our day-to-day lives is one of those where you're like, man, like, you took freedom for granted big time. You know, you go through the airports and it's like masks everywhere. And like, you go everywhere here in California and Texas, it's obviously different.
Right.
But California is like, masks are heavy use here. In Texas, it's like non-existent.
Right.
And it's just, it's a different world, and it just, you know, it stinks, but this is probably going to be something that's going to last for a while. You know, I asked a flight attendant one day, I was like, how long do you think we wear masks? Like, all sincerity, he was like, I can see more years, like not a year or months, like he's like, I think years.
Yeah.
All right. There's nothing like trying to sleep with a mask on.
Yeah.
When you have a 6 a.m. flight and you had coffee and your breath smells,
Oh,
and you're like
gosh.
sitting there and you're like, this is when you really realize your breath
Yeah.
stinks.
Yeah.
When you have a mask on, you're
When you
like,
have to
dude,
breathe it back in.
man, I feel bad for everybody that's ever talked to me after my 7 a.m. coffee.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. But, you know, it's part of the world.
Yeah. I would joke with people like that would come to the tasting room when we'd have to wear the mask, and I'm like, yeah, you know, it just really sucks. Now I have to brush my teeth. They're like, you weren't doing that before.
No, can't tell.
Yeah. I'm like, save time.
Yeah, it's just, it's different, but it's the world we live in now.
Yeah. Charlie's funny, man. Spending more time with him the last few years. You know, he sponsored the Driven Golf Show, and going on a couple trips with him and Ryan Winther, who is the main guy on the show. And yeah, Charlie's a great guy, a little crazy.
Dude, he's really smart with the business stuff,
Yeah.
like marketing and all that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then you'll talk
One of the
to
best
him.
networkers you'll ever find.
Yeah, like he's great. He's a great people person. Having Miles has actually calmed him down in a sense of like he has to be more mature as a dad, but like when we work out
It's
and
a
it's
struggle.
just me and him, exactly. He struggles and it's just me and him, and like Miles is out there with him. He's like, you can tell he's like, Dad, I need to be a dad. I need to be a dad. Second Misha comes home, it's like the child switch comes on. And you're like, dude. But then you try and ask him like, Charlie, how much weight is this? You know, he's a trainer for a living.
Right.
You look at him and be like, 135 pounds. I'm like, Charlie, there's 4 45 pound plates on each side. And I'm like, does that math add up to you?
Right.
And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, so you need to figure this out.
Right.
But he's like, I've been going to him since I was first year of pro ball. But like prior to that, I would come in to Warriors and do it. You know, I was a little chubby kid. Thought hitting was dude. You don't remember?
No.
Yeah. That's because I always wore black, still do. So
Yeah.
slimming.
It's very slimming. Yeah.
But he has been like the one trainer that I've had. Like every time I come home, he's the only guy I go to. You know, I kind of like to keep that corner small.
Right.
Like my like training. Been with the same agent my whole career. Small agency, great people. Kind of kept everybody in my corner that I wanted.
Yeah.
And you know, I really don't venture out much. Especially when it comes to meeting new people.
Yeah.
It's never been a thing for me. Like, it's not that I'm uncomfortable, but you know, like the older you get and the like higher you go, I'm not gonna say my status because like I'm still like we were talking about. The waiter came in and started banging on the door. Like, no matter who you are, like you're still a person.
Yeah.
Like you get a little more and more people want to pull you in different directions. So
Right.
everybody's like, how do you say no? And I'm like, no.
No. Right. N-O.
Like, no, it's pretty universal. Like, hey, can you do this for me? No. And if they're of status, if they're a high celebrity and they ask you to do something, you just go, no, not today, maybe another time. Like, you just add some stuff, but, you know, I just, especially when I come home,
Yeah.
everybody talks about Elk Grove kind of stinks and this and that, but like, when you've lived away from Elk Grove for so long, or you're just on the road, you know, like, was it February spring training starts and you're done mid-October if you get into the playoffs, or it could be November if you go to the World Series. You come to your hometown and it's just, man, that's Sheldon Inn. Like, dude, we used to go there in high school. Like, I remember me and my buddy Lorenzo Wood, he lived out in Wilton, and we would go to this Pizza Bell and get a small pizza and buffalo chips, and we'd go back to his house.
Yeah.
Like, there's like little things you just, like, I have to do that. I come home, and every time I come home, I have to have the same food, like, every single time. Like, every time I come home, I have Kintaro's sushi.
Yeah.
Like, have to have it. Usually that's the first meal. Since moving to Texas, they do have an In-N-Out, so I don't eat.
In Texas, they do.
They do. It's about 20 minutes from my house, and believe it or not, 25 minutes, like 14 miles. Believe it or not, I have made that one of just sitting in the house, watching Thursday Night Football, and be like, I'm going to get In-N-Out.
Let's do it.
Like, I'm going.
There's no shame in that.
No.
I once drove 2 hours one way for a Domino's pizza.
That's dedication. I don't know if I'd have done that.
I got stuck in traffic. It wasn't like the Domino's was 2 hours away. There's an accident,
You were
stuck in
LA.
traffic.
You were just in LA. That was
No, that was to the Domino's that used to be off Sunrise.
Dude, you are different.
From Wilton. I got
You're
stuck in
different.
traffic. I went at the worst time. I'm like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Yeah, that's a good time to go
Yeah.
get pizza.
But yeah, it's like when I come home, man, it's just such a, like, I want to spend time with my dad, spend time with my sisters in town, see, like, my boys, get in a couple hunts with, when we go hunting, you know, it's all the same people that I've been around since I was 4, 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
And you see them and they're like, you know, some people used to have hair, and then 20 years later, they don't.
Right.
You know, some people are there and they've passed away, and it's tougher going up there because you still see the little things that remind you, and like, but I just, coming home to me is like that sacred thing where, like, especially when I'm home, being in Elk Grove's such a tight knit place, people want to take you in every direction. I'm just like, nah, when I'm home, it's for me.
Right.
Then you called and you were dying to talk to me, and I was like, dude, leave me alone. Showed up at my house, banging on the door, broke into my bedroom at night, woke me up, he's staring over me, I was sleeping, I was like, dude,
Come on the show.
I was like, bro, brush your teeth.
You're in town? Dedicate your time to me.
Brush your teeth, dude. You don't have a mask on.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, you called and I was like, dude, yes, that sounds fun. Like, that's, for me, that was like, yeah. You know, like you said, we haven't seen each other in years, but there's a connection that we had growing up and playing ball together. It was like, it's never going to change. That's what, like, baseball does. Sports in general. Being in a town that people call it a big town, but I still think it's a small town. Like, just how everybody knows each other, especially not so much the side of, like, 99 that is, you know, west of 99. Yeah, and that's where I live, but, like, I went to, you know, high school at Elk Grove, so, like, once you get onto that side of 99, east side of 99, it's like everybody knows everybody.
For sure.
So it was cool coming back home and getting to see you, getting to be on the show, getting to do, like, a bunch of things with people I hadn't seen in years, especially with COVID.
Right.
Although I did spend majority of my COVID time here after spring training ended, like, still couldn't see everybody I wanted to see because of just certain people didn't want to get sick. Certain people have, you know, people that were sick at home, you know, certain things like that. And you're just, it was tough, but Elk Grove always going to be home to me. People have asked me, would you move back to California? I said, if I had enough money to move back to California, yes.
Right.
And keep and sustain my lifestyle till whenever I'm done, and raise kids in the lifestyle that I want, and, like, have the land, have what the house I want to live on. And I was like, I wouldn't be out of the picture. I said, but I can't right now. Like, I like my lifestyle too much.
Yeah.
To come
Is
back.
it cheaper in Texas than California?
A hair. Just a hair. I was looking at a house actually out here that is very similar in, like, size to mine out in Wilton, and on the same amount of, like, land, and I was like, this house is listed for 7 figures more than what I paid for mine.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm pretty sure mine's nicer on the inside.
For sure.
I was
I mean,
like,
I've seen houses in Wilton that's like on 10 acres, which is a good amount of land, but it's not the most out in Wilton. But it's like a mobile home going for like $800,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, there's a mobile home, right? This isn't like it's not a misprint on the listing.
It's different out here, and I told my dad, I was like, dude, sell your house. Like, what we paid for it when we were young, like when I was young, and then what you could sell it for now. And he's like, where do you want me to go? And I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, I'm gonna have to buy the same house for the same price. And I was like, you're not wrong. I was like, or you could just leave the state. I said, it's not that bad. He was
Yeah.
like, I could go to like, I always wanted to go to Tahoe. I was like, yeah, go to Incline Village. It's on the Nevada side. You know how much cheaper it is?
Right.
I was
yeah.
like, no state taxes. I said, you can maximize your retirement. I was like, it's not hard. I said, it's only a 2.5 hour drive away.
Right. It's not far. It's a nice drive.
I told him, I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure you have enough friends that like you just enough to be like, hey, I guess you could stay in the guest room
Right.
if you had too much fun. I was like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But teach their own.
Yeah.
I told him it's time to go.
Yeah.
But I do think California would be a cool place to live
Yeah.
if I could afford it. Beach, man. Beach in the mountains, same day.
Can't beat it.
No
And
place.
I think like where we're located specifically, like you said, 2-hour drive to Tahoe. You go to the Bay Area in 2 hours, if you wanted to go there. And I mean,
Yosemite, one of the prettiest places in America. is
there's
3
so
hours
many
away.
beautiful places surrounding us within just a couple-hour drive.
Yeah, there is. Stockton.
So Stockton, yeah. Bakersfield's not too far.
Yeah, Fresno's really close. We're just, this is all going to be on air. Like, your viewers are going to be like,
Yeah, I'm from Bakersfield, you asshole.
yeah.
Oh,
The Cy Young winner this year for the National League, Corbin Burns, my teammate, is from Bakersfield.
really? You make fun of him for being from there?
I do. I tell him you're from
What'd you
the
do
dirty
growing
Bay.
up? Just
Yeah.
throw a ball? That's it?
Yeah. Like, dude, you clean? Like,
Are your best friends cows?
Yeah. Like, man, dirty Bakersfield. Like, you guys are the armpit of America.
Yeah.
He's like, no, we're not. We're not Fresno. I'm like, no, Fresno's not the armpit.
Yeah.
It's like the crease. They're just outside of
Yeah,
the
Fresno's close, but you guys, yeah. So this cocktail that we have right here, this is the signature cocktail for up here. This is the Velvet Martini. So it's,
Do I drink this pinky out?
you can put your pinky wherever you want.
It took a lot of me not to say something.
So it's vanilla vodka, Chambord raspberry liqueur, and pineapple juice with a raspberry garnish.
You chug this?
You. This is a sipper. I would not recommend chugging this.
Good thing there's an elevator here because I will fall down these stairs.
Yeah. But cheers to you, man.
Cheers. Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course. Thanks for coming on the show.
That's actually kind of good. We need to put it in a little bit more of a manly glass next time, but
Oh, it's a martini. James Bond drank out of these.
yeah, but he's kind of a low-key, not a low-key badass. He's like the real deal badass, and we're kind of like just
This is like we're
ass.
faking.
We're just ass.
We're either ass or bad.
Yeah.
We're not
together.
badass.
No, we're like bad space ass.
So out of the players that have come out of Elk Grove, where would you rank yourself?
I mean, Dylan Carlson was nominated for Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, he can play. Nick Madrigal obviously was a 3rd overall pick. Into the big leagues quick. Unfortunate injury this year. Dude, we're all good. That if came out of Elk Grove High School in my time, I mean, we all made it to the big leagues, and we were all. Me and Dom played with every single one of those guys. You know, we played with JD for 2 years.
Yeah.
Played with Derek for 2 years. Played with Nick for 2 years. And we played with Dylan for 1. But I think just between all of us, man, we're all different in a way. Like, Derek's obviously, like, arguably one of the best defensive players in baseball.
Right.
Nick is a great second baseman, can really hit. Dylan's like the switch hitting young player. He made the big league with 21, set a bunch of playoff records. I mean, dude can play.
Yeah.
Dom, one of the best defensive catchers I've ever seen. Dom's the only one I've never played against. Out of all the guys that we went to high school with, Dom's the only one I've never played against. But obviously, you know, I talked to a lot of guys that have came from the Rockies organization. I'm like, you guys know Dom? They're like, yeah. I'm like, how do you like throwing him? You know, that's just a question, kind of like a universal question. I'm like, dude, he's one of the best that we've thrown to. I was like, that's high praise. When you can have a catcher that's just everybody likes throwing to him, that's something else. Then you have JD, who's been in the big leagues longer than any of us.
Yeah.
We've came across each other a while, you know, hit 300 in 2019. You know, I think we're all just really good. But that being said, it's still, I still hold all that.
Well, that's the right answer.
But, you know, like, it's just crazy that we all were out of high school at one point together.
Yeah.
to have one high school in a 5-year span have 6 big leaguers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just pretty insane. Like that's something that's
I didn't realize how unique that is until I started dating my wife, who's from the Granite Bay Roseville side, which there's a few players that came out from over there. Yeah.
Suzak.
But I was like, oh yeah, I got this friend on this team, this friend over here, and then she's like, wait, all these guys you came from your area? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I can't even name a professional player that came out of this area. I'm like,
Yeah,
well, you guys suck, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna lie, but they do suck. But yeah, that was like one of those uncommon things of just 6 of us in one time.
Yeah.
5 of us on one team. Outside of JD graduated, it was like one of those things that was unheard of.
Right.
That when Dylan made his debut was a lot of calls were coming in from newspapers and certain things, just talking about Coach Carlson and what he meant to us and what he did for us. And I always tell people, like, it wasn't like the players that came there. Yeah, we went there. Granted, none of us were supposed to go there.
Yeah.
But it was just how he ran his program, how professional it was, everything. How he surrounded us with the right people too. A lot of the players came back. David Hernandez, David Freitas, the Blue Jays Major League announcer, Buck Martinez, which is a class of I think 66 out of Elk Grove.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He played a long time, so we got to talk to the right people. We had a lot of college players come back, but just the style that we ran, like how we ran practices, was very pro style. And then, our pitching coach played in the big leagues, Jason Jimenez, who's now a cop here, and we had a lot of other coaches that played Division I baseball, played minor league baseball, so we were surrounded with that kind of environment. And just the Elk Grove life and the Elk Grove way was we don't lose and we play like we're better than everybody else.
Yeah.
We carry ourselves like we're better than everybody else, and that's really what he instilled in us. And I think that's why so many of us got to the big leagues.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Favorite thing to do in the off season? Hunt.
Yeah, so.
I kind of picked that up since you
I go
mentioned
hunting
probably
every weekend, every other weekend. I got 350 acres in Texas, in East Texas, and
nice.
I go probably every other weekend, deer hunting, duck hunting. Come out here, get a little duck hunting in. Oklahoma, I'm trying to get some more land in Oklahoma. But we have land and just, I think I'm a bow hunter. Like I got into bow hunting as I got into pro ball, met a couple guys from Texas. I had never bow hunted. Always been a long range rifle guy and duck hunting. So I got into bow hunting, and that's been probably the most fun and frustrating thing I've done.
I bet.
Like I've missed a lot.
Yeah.
I think my first 4 shots were bad misses. You get they always call it buck fever. Like I miss, but as I've gotten older, I think that's a bigger adrenaline rush. Shooting a bow, whether it's a doe, a buck, a pig, anything you shoot it with a bow, you feel way more satisfied because it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the most primal thing to do, I think,
Right.
and you feel way more no matter what it is than shooting that rifle 350 yards.
You know who used to do it in like competitions and stuff? You remember Mason Hastings?
Yeah.
He did it
He did shooting. Did he do bow?
bow and arrow. Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
We grew up together. I didn't know that, but we played a lot of travel ball together.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Oh yeah, duh. We're on the same travel ball team.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Yeah, I know you forgot about us, little guys, but
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to big league you there.
yeah, that blue truck with all the speakers in it probably blew your eardrums out in your memory. That's really, hunt. I'm not really big into traveling. I would like to travel more, but as I started getting a little, paychecks were getting a little more. COVID hit, so it was tough to travel, and then buying a house, doing all the grown-up things that you have to do.
Right.
Slow down that process, but I would call myself more of a homebody than anything. Like to be at home. Got 2 little dogs, so that's fun to take care of those guys and hang with them. But that's really it. Hunt, spend time at home, and then our people don't, like I said, behind the scenes stuff. People don't see how much work we have to put in away from the field. Right. Working out in the mornings, baseball work, going to the field, hitting in the cages, doing everything you need to do. It's not a 9 to 5, but we like to think it's a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
We like to normalize our job, but I think the off season for us really flies by.
Yeah.
Like it really does. You think 4 months, you're like 4 months. You look up, for me, I look up and Christmas was a couple days ago, and I'm like, all right, well, I got 8 weeks.
Right.
Until spring training starts.
That's crazy.
Cool.
It's too little time
Yeah.
for that.
You would think it's killing my hunting season. I always make fun of it. I always make a joke. I'm like, yeah, I play baseball to stay in shape for hunting season.
Yeah.
That's my kind of fun.
At least it works out to where hunting season is like in your off
Yeah,
season.
we're the only sport.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of football players, basketball players, they all golf. They do a lot of that stuff. But, yeah, we're the only. That's why I think a lot of us, we get the kind of like the hillbilly tag. Because we can all hunt. We can have, you know, October's through February, which is pretty much the hunting season for everywhere in America. We have it off. So we can go hunting wherever we want. We can do as we please, fishing, golfing. Like, we have the longest off season, but I think we play. I think we have one of the harder schedules. 162 games in 180 days, traveling across the country. You know, like there's stretches where you have 1 day off in a month. You know, you play. I know last year we played 24 straight games. It's told your body.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Wouldn't trade it for the world, but you know, last like 2020, I had to go get my knee done. Dr. Andrews was like, "Hey, how come you didn't show up with the rest of the Blue Jays players? You know, we had a couple guys getting their elbows done, a couple guys getting shoulders done." He's like, "Why didn't you show up with the rest of them? It made it easier." And I said, "Doc, I had to go hunting. Like, I couldn't just go get my knee done and start my off season right after the season. Like, I need some free time. I need to go hunting."
Oh, yeah.
So I'm in this knee brace, sitting in a ground blind, shooting deer with a bow. I was showing him video. He's like, "You at least have pictures?" And I was like, "Yeah, some pictures of pigs that we had shot." And he was like, "All right, that's acceptable."
Yeah.
He was like, "You didn't climb a tree?" And I was like, "No." I did nothing but sit in the ground blind.
Nice.
So that's really all I do in the off season.
That's awesome, man. Well, we're super excited for your success and wish you nothing but the best and continued success and hopefully you guys win the World Series and head that way and make it a little bit further than you did last year. So
I think we can. We got the best pitching staff in baseball. I mean, I'd throw that up against anybody. The Cy Young winner, we have the best closer in baseball, hands down. He's got 3 of the last 4 reliever of the year awards. So Josh Hader. But yeah, I think we got a legitimate chance, and we're all young. The team still has control of us, so we're all young. We're all a good group of guys. We're all pretty down to earth, and Milwaukee sets us up in a great environment with great people, great staff for us to achieve that. You know, I think we all kind of let ourselves down with that first round knockout, getting out of the playoffs. But you know, there's next year, and I think we got the same team moving forward. So we're ready.
Well, nice, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It really means a lot. It's great to see you again.
Yeah.
And, of course, we'll be rooting for you.
Thanks for having me. That was awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks,
Take
man.
care.
Yeah. You too. Thanks for watching Feast and Flight, and we'll see you on the next episode.